about a little winter magic? Hi, this is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are on layout number 7, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, I beg your pardon, 6. Layout number 6 for my 12 days of holiday layouts in 2025. And we are using the Winter Bliss collection today to create the virtual crop layout number 4 from November. And I think if you've seen the thumbnail for this, then you will know what a wonderful collection this is for this particular project recipe. I had so much fun putting this one together. I hope you will too. It comes together beautifully and is perfect for this design. So let's check out my workspace and we'll get started. All right, so today we, as I mentioned just a minute ago, we are going to work on one of the virtual crop sketches for November. And so this one is a 2-page layout that we're going to do. This is virtual crop sketch number 4 from November. And I hope you'll indulge me just a little bit because I know you're not going to be getting this until well into December. But I haven't been able to do the November sketches yet because I haven't been able to share that with you. So I just thought it would be this one lent itself really well to the new Winter Bliss paper pack, and so I just thought it would be a really fun one to share with you. So we're going to use the snowflake, Dancing Snowflakes punch, and we're going to have some fun with a circle or two. So I hope that is something that you enjoy. And I hope that this will be maybe not something new necessarily, but a nice layout for you for your winter fun. All right, so we're going to use Winter Bliss, as I mentioned before. We're going to use these 2 papers, which I mentioned previously. I thought these were just gorgeous, and I wanted to save them so that they could be used in a layout. We're going to use them today in a layout. And we're going to play with this just a little bit. We might modify it a little bit from what the original project recipe calls for, and that's simply because of the pre-printed beautiful snow that's at the bottom of this. But we'll see how that works, okay? I'm going to, for now, set those to the side, our base sheets, and then we're going to address these 3 papers. I have this one down here, which is a little bit of a knitted pattern, but I love the fact that it's on that pretty blue field, and it kind of creates its own pattern like a sweater. I have a piece of bright white cardstock, and I have this piece of sort of the cross-stitch version of the snowflakes. And it really looks like it's linen that they have stitched the snowflakes onto. It's the one that has this cute plaid on the back. All right, but we're not going to use the plaid side. We're going to stick to the cute snowflake side. Okay, so first of all, let's go ahead and start with this cute snowflake paper. And we are going to, we're going to cut 2 pieces of this, and we're going to cut it at each one of them at 3 inches. All right, so this is going to be two pieces that are 3 by 12. Okay, so there's 1, and here is 2. That'll leave us a 6 by 12 piece that we can use on another layout another day. So that'll be nice. And then we're going to use the sweater patterned paper to be a 5-inch piece. So we need this to be cut at 5 by 12. And notice I'm cutting it vertically. So my stripes are going this way, but I'm cutting through the stripes because this paper is going to go vertically onto my layout, and I want my stripes to still be going horizontal. Okay, so this is again extra. All right, now we are going to do some cutting and some punching. All right, so I'm going to place that right over there. I'm going to grab my punch, and we're going to punch this twice. I think I'm going to need some more cardstock too as I'm looking at the layout design again. It looks like I will need a little bit more paper, so I'll have to get that in just a minute. Okay, so the bright white cardstock is a pretty thick cardstock, so you'll notice I had to kind of muscle that to get it to punch through, and that's simply because the bright white cardstock is a little thicker. It's a heavier poundage than our typical cardstock, and so it requires a little bit more muscle. Not to worry though. Isn't that so cute? Such cute snowflakes. Okay, we're going to do that again one more time. All right, there's that. Now we're going to use the remainder of this paper, and we're going to cut some circles. So hold on just a second here. Let me get rid of that punch confetti there. All right, now we're going to cut some circles. I'm going to grab the largest of my regular circle patterns, and we're going to cut this using the blue blade. And I actually have my blade sitting right out here for prep for another layout, because I prepped this one and then I prepped another one, and I don't know what I was thinking, but I put some of it away. Okay. So we're going to go around the outside with the blue blade. And there we go. I was not quite making that connection. All right, so I have just a little bit of a tail. Not a big deal, because I can just remove that, and we're going to be working some other magic anyway, so no worries. All right, so we're going to set that over there. So I have one circle for this side. We're going to do actually one other circle. It's a 4.5-inch circle, and so we are going to need a different template. Let me grab a different one, because this pattern, I think it's the small one that we need. Yeah, so we need this to be, it says it's a 4.5-inch circle. So that means we're going to use the blue blade with the small pattern. Big one back away. Let's go ahead and we'll cut this out real quick, since we've got the blue blade handy. So 2 circles. This one that we're about to cut out is really just a mat for a photo. The other one is going to be more decorative. So we're going to, this is the small pattern, the small circle pattern, the blue blade. That gives us a 4.5-inch circle and allows us to use a 4-inch circle for our picture, and it will mat it just perfectly. Okay, so we'll leave that over here with those pieces and those pieces. And now we're going to take our circle and we're going to punch around the outside. All right, so the design on the plans for this project recipe, for this virtual crop sketch, has a solid circle, but I'm going to turn it into a punched circle just because I like the idea of incorporating a snowflake circle into the design of the layout. So we're going to punch our snowflakes all the way around, and I'm just doing that by lining up my punch. You see I overlap it right there. Okay, and by overlapping it and then making sure that this one is on the circle, not going off the paper, then I'm creating a pattern. And I'm going to go back and actually work some freehand fussy cutting magic in a minute here to enhance our punched circle. Okay, so if we did it right, we should be able to mostly match up our two portions of snowflake there. Okay, and ta-da! Okay. Now we're going to go in here with our pointy scissors, our precision cutting scissors, and you can see that each one of these snowflakes that is coming together, where the punch came together, we've got kind of a block pattern here. So what I'm going to do is just go in and kind of cut a V into that and make it come together, and it will just add to the design. It won't detract from the punched design, and it'll take that blockiness away so that we still get the lightness of the snowflake. So it's just a notch that I'm cutting in there very quickly. Doesn't take much time at all. All right. And then if you have any little pieces like this one, you might want to go in and just sort of nip that off. I think that was the only one. Okay. So that is good to go. Now, on the design, they've got a portion of the circle and they've got the other portion of the circle in another area. So we're going to grab our trimmer and we're going to trim our circle down just a bit. Now we don't want it to be cut right in half. That's not what we want. We want basically a third. So I'm going to turn it so that I'm cutting between here and here. Let me move that so that I'm not going to trim my larger snowflake at all. Okay, so we're just going to trim between this mark and the larger snowflake that's here, and this mark and the larger snowflake that is on this side. Okay, so we're going to trim that off, and you'll notice, or I can let you know, that I have one of those larger snowflakes is touching the 2.5 inch mark on my trimmer on the left hand side. So that may help you be able to tell better where to cut. Okay, so here we've got our 2 pieces. And the only, oops, I should just keep this out because the only other thing that I need to do is I need to cut some mats. So I need another piece of white, bright white, and I'm just going to cut 2 mats, and each one is 6.5 by 8.5. So actually I think I'm going to need 2 more pieces. Yep. In order to do 2 6.5 by 8.5 pieces, I need 2 separate pieces. So we're going to cut this at 6.5, turn it and cut it at 8.5. And I need another piece just like that. And then this one's going to be 6.5 and 8.5 as well. So we will. So we need 3 pieces of white cardstock instead of just 2. All right. Now we can go ahead and assemble this cute page. All right, let's grab one of the base pages here. Okay, so this is the left-hand side of the layout. And I'm going to start by adhering this piece right here. We're going to overlap the snowflakes on the bottom by just a skosh, just a little bit. But I'm going to place this basically just above those. So I'm going to use the snowflakes on the left-hand side of this as my guide, and that's going to be where I lay this down. So let me give you a better reference so that you can see. That's roughly 2.5 inches from the corner is where that's laying down. Okay, so 2.5 inches up. And then we'll get to the other side in just a minute. But we are going to take the larger piece of our punched circle, and I'm going to take this little bitty niblet off up here, okay? Because we don't need him sort of hanging around, as it were. I'm going to take my repositionable adhesive and add repositionable adhesive all the way around, roughly. Okay. Then this circle is going to go on this side with the cut portions right up against the edge of my paper. And you'll notice it does fall down on top of this strip right here. Okay, so we've got that piece. Then we've got another piece, the piece that we cut. Okay, so this piece was right here. We're going to, oops, add our repositionable adhesive across this one. And this is going to go across the top right here, right up against the edge. And then we've got it fairly close to the center, so we want it to be like within 1/2 inch of this center edge here. Okay, so we've got that circle. And then we've got our mat. And the mat sits about the same distance from the middle. I'm doing mine probably closer to, I want to say like 5/8 of an inch. Yeah, it's about 5/8 of an inch from the center edge. So it covers just a little bit of my punched circle over here, but not too much. And it doesn't cover up my punched circle at the top. All right. Then I'm going to come in here with another layer of my snowflake punch. And this one I'm going to pop up a little bit with some foam squares so that you can see the difference that this makes. Okay, so this is going to go across the middle right here. All right, and you can see it's lovely. It's a little bit hard to see, but it is lovely. And we're going to go ahead and pop this up using our tiny little foam squares and just putting those in the middle of this kind of more solid snowflake. Okay, so we're going to take the tabs off to expose that extra bit of adhesive that's on the double side, right? And then we're going to take that and we're going to lay it right on here. Make sure it is as lined up as you can possibly make it. Because once you get it on here, it's very difficult to lift off. Okay, but you can see how just the tiniest little shadow lifts that up and gives it so much more dimension and makes it so much easier to see. Okay, let's do the right hand side of the layout and then we will come back and do some embellishing. All right, so first things first, I am going to take this piece, and it's going to be the first thing on our layout this time around. Okay, and this one is going to be, let's see, it's going to be just to the left of center on this paper. So let's center this on my grid, on my mat, and that way I can see where center is. So there's center. If I was going to center it, I would put it here, but I want it to be just a little bit this way of center. So I'm going to move it over. I'm going to move it over about 1/2 inch. It's not a lot, but that is all that I feel like they are asking us to do according to the sketch that we're doing. Okay, so just a tiny bit to the left of what we know of as center. Okay. We are going to take our snowflake banner that needs to go on. Put that on next. And again, this is going to be 2.5 inches from the bottom. So let me just scooch this down and then I can put this on at the same height as the other side. Okay, so there's 2.5 inches. There's our snowflake banner that's going to go all the way across. Then we've got our mat. This one we're turning vertical, all right, and we want this to be at the same height as the other. So I'm going to put these two papers together. so that I can see where that one sits. We're going to put this a little bit closer to center than the other one. Not too far, but a little bit closer, so that it's the same distance from the top as it is from the center, and almost the same from the bottom here. So we could actually probably move that up just a skosh. Oops. There, that looks good. Okay, and then our circle. And I'm only going to attach this on the outside and the top and the bottom because it does overlap these photos and I don't want to interfere with those. So I'm going to place this, imagining the middle of this. I'm going to place this in the center, and it's going to just overlap this banner, that's the 3-inch banner that's going across as well. Okay, but then we can slide a photo underneath there and that will be just fine. Okay, then we have our additional snowflake banner, and we need to get our foam squares on this one as well so that it is popped up just like the other one. Okay, take off these other little tabs. And this will go right across the middle here too. And so since we've already placed one of them, we can go ahead and add or line up these two papers. All right. Be careful. That guy wanted to stay. All right. We're going to add this in the same spot. And it helps if we just sort of line up that snowflake right there in the middle. So that everything is just right and aligned. All right, so now all we need are some embellishments. So let's check out our embellishment pack from this collection, Winter Bliss. We can say Snow Much Fun. We can say Snowy Days and Happy Hearts. Winter Magic. I like the idea of winter magic myself. You could add these guys. Kind of adds to the whimsy of the swirls of our snowflakes. Go with an extra snowflake or two. We could use our corners. These super cute decorative corners would be cute to add on there and would definitely bring attention to the white mats. Got some more gray. There's another one that matches that in here. I just have to find it. What is it? Where is it? Oh, I think I see it. It's under here. There it is. that in there. Look at that. Add a little bird. A couple of little birds. All right. So what if we were to put that on there and maybe this one up here, Winter Magic. Let's flip-flop these. We're going to use Winter Magic up there. I like that better. And let's do Got so much fun. Let's do our little birdhouse kind of poking out of the snowbank. And we'll pop that up so we can fit a photo underneath there. And we need that bird somewhere. That would be cute. We can add one of these guys. Overlapping a little there. And have this be similar like that. And I think I would just add these snowflakes under Winter Magic up here to kind of pull all of that together. What do we think? Do we need another little snowflake or something under here? A little bit to pull that dark color in there, just a little. I think these corners are gonna just bug me. That's better. I think that's better. Okay. So foam squares to the rescue, right? Because these two definitely need to be popped up. And maybe our bird doesn't necessarily need to be popped up, but our wind and snow needs to be popped up so that it will not interfere with the other photos that are going to go on here. So we're going to place those like so. And I'm going to leave that tab over that one because I ended up turning it around and I want to be able to still fit my picture underneath there. And let's go ahead and we'll pop up this birdhouse as well. Okay. Now you can pop up these corners if you'd like, or you can just adhere this corner down here and let the rest kind of just float. I think I'm gonna go that route. I'm gonna add a little adhesive over this large snowflake right here in the corner, and then that way I can move this. Same thing up here on the top. That way I can move that down just a skosh because you can see it's a little bit close up here in the corner. So I need to be able to put a photo a good ways underneath there. Oh dear, come on. Let me do the same thing with this guy. Just try and make sure that it's evenly spaced on this border and that border of your mat right here so that your photo doesn't end up getting squished. And this one's going to be down and this one's going to be up. Okay, but I'm only going to take the tab off of one of these so that I can overlap that onto my photo. We've got our winter magic. And our cute little bird friend. I'm going to pop up because he'll look more happy to be here. We pop him up. We'll stick him up there just a little. And then these two little snowflakes are just going to be flush with the layout so that they are not sticking up. Okay, that's going to be under there. This one will be up there. All right. And we are done. Let me know what you think. I'm excited. I like this one a lot. And this will accommodate 4 4x6 photos and 1 4-inch rounded photo. So, so 5 pictures on the 2-page layout. I think that works well, and it's nice and balanced. I love that these are popped up and there's just a bit of a shadow underneath, just enough, right? Kind of the same thing here, just a hint of a little bit of a shadow. It really plays into winter magic really, really well, I think. This will be perfect for our snow pictures this season. Let me know what you think. And until next time, I hope you're having fun putting together these holiday layouts with me. It is super fun. We're about halfway done, and so we have 6 more to go after this. And so still a lot more to come, and you still have a little more time to shop if you're shopping. Thanks so much for joining me. Until next time, I hope you have many more creative moments. Enjoy your day.